welcome to this week's office hours. And as always, I'm here and Rakesh is here. Hi, Rakesh.
Hey, everyone.
David's got the day off today, so we're going to be covering the education slot. But for now, if you're new to Zenler, you've just come into the Facebook group, and every week we're welcoming more and more people that have discovered and found Zenler. So welcome. Office hours is where myself and Rakesh and the team come in and we give you an update on what's been happening. Some of it technical, some of it functional. We go through our education slot, which is the program that we're putting together to teach you how to use Zenler more effectively. And we answer your questions live. So if you have any questions that you want to ask us while we're here right now, then by all means type them in. And if we get a chance, we'll answer them. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay, let us know where you're watching from. And also questions that are put onto the replay, we will always come back after the event is finished and answer as well. So thanks for watching us live. We really appreciate that. Now, within Zenler, we do have in the Facebook group a tab called announcements. And if you are new to us, that's the place you should start really, because there's a getting started document there which will help you navigate around all of the properties that we've got with all of the different bits. And I will go through some of them individually during this office hours. But as always, I'm going to hand over to Rakesh at the beginning, and hopefully we'll go through the changelog for this week, please.
Cool. Thanks, Kevin. Just going to quickly cover the releases that has gone in over the last week. Yeah, so let me just share my screen. Do you see my screen, Kevin?
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so under this URL bit/.ly/new Zenler changelog, you can see all the releases that we do weekly. This is the release that has gone in last week, and mostly the changes are related to fixes that has gone in. Some changes around webinars, live class URLs, and some changes around one of our integrations. And I think, yeah, so mainly the changes from on the changelog side is mainly the fixes that has gone in over the last week. So hopefully, I think this week we are planning something. Can't announce it yet, but hopefully we will have some major updates pretty soon.
Brilliant.
That's pretty much from the changelog side, Kevin.
Okay, thank you, Rakesh. And as always, for those of you that haven't seen the changelog before, as Rakesh has said, the link is there. You can have a scroll through, and I think you'll be quite surprised how just even in this year, there's been a lot of stuff that's been released, a lot of new features that have been released. And of course, every time a new feature is released, we're still in beta, remember, we have to make sure that it's stable, it's used, and if there are any things that don't go quite right, and with software, anybody that's been involved in software knows it happens, we have to go back and we have to make it good. So some weeks there's more functionality, some weeks there's more tech stuff, and this week was a tech week, so I'm sure we could get the tech team to list everything down that they did, but most of us, including myself, would have absolutely no idea what any of it means.
Yes.
All we need to know is it makes the system better.
Yeah, some of it may not make sense to most of you, but yeah, we keep on refining it as we go on.
Yeah. So hi to Rob Montgomery. So thank you so much for joining us live. Hope you're well. Now remember, if you've not yet signed up to tutorials.newzenler.com, go on and sign up over there. That's where you'll find a lot of tutorials. We also have a YouTube channel which every week is being populated with the Ask Zenlers, which are the questions that you as a community and users of Zenlers are saying, how do I do this? And we're specifically creating videos on that one thing. So if it's one that comes up regularly, we can just answer it and it's there as a resource for you. David's working on the big course, as we call it, which is going to be the all-encompassing guide to using Zenler, and you can hop about it for the bits that you need or go through the whole thing in a linear fashion and pretty much know every single button, what every feature does. And that's coming out at some point. But we'll keep you updated on where that is. But for now, we would normally go, who have we got here? Meryl, hi Meryl. Right, I'll come back to your question in a second, Meryl. So if you can hang on, we're just going to go through the education slot first because there's been some new stuff go onto there. And I'm going to ask Rakesh again. I'm really putting on Rakesh today because David's not here. If he could just share his screen and just show us what's been happening over on YouTube and on the tutorial site for New Zenler as well.
Cool. Let me share my screen again. Desktop. Do you see my screen again?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Now? Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to chat this link on the chat soon. But yeah, on tutorials.newzenler.com/askzenler, you can see all the jump links for all the videos that our education team is doing, headed by David, is doing. Yeah, so you can see all of that here, all the YouTube stuff here. So with one click, you can jump onto the YouTube videos. So all the builder related videos, all the course creation related videos, all the site setup related videos, marketing related, all the videos we now have jump links. So you can just one click, you can jump, or you can play from here as well. Or if you go to the Zenler YouTube channel, you can see all the videos that has gone in. There's quite a lot of work has been going on. There's quite a lot of videos produced recently by David has gone in. Yeah, so I think quite a lot of Ask Zenler videos on course creation. So earlier there was, believe it or not, we didn't have a video on how to edit the pages once you create the course. We have the video now for that now. And then importing CSV files into Zenler. We have a video on that now. I think Meryl was asking a question around that a few minutes ago. I will come to that. And using tags. So this is again a question asked by several people. How do you run several cohorts throughout the year? So if you want to run cohort in spring and then in autumn and so on, how can you effectively use tags to run that throughout the year? So that is this video. And again, few other videos on exporting students using filters and so on has gone in. Yeah, I think, and I think David is working on the massive course, which is going to come on A to Z of all things Zenler.
Brilliant. And of course, you've got your playlists there, so you can jump around the YouTube channel as well.
Yes, so all of them is now playlisted. So yeah, you can, all the Ask Zenler ones, all the office hours, and all the live, all the different verticals we have inside the platform. So we have the live classes, quick tutorials, pro user interviews that Kevin has been doing, and marketing funnels. Everything is now in a playlist. So you can access all of the videos from here, or you can access it from tutorials.newzenler.com. So either of that is possible.
Perfect. So if you're a YouTube fan, go over to the YouTube channel that we've got there, and we'll put the link in at some point after we've done this particular live, and just hit subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when new videos go in there, because as you can see, and one thing that I did notice as Rakesh was skipping through that was even some of the new videos that have only been up a day or two, we're getting people looking at these, so they're being found to be useful. So use it as a resource, use it to help you in the goals you've got for using Zenler for your business. So that's really good. Okay, so let's move on to a couple of questions that we've had come in. So Meryl, thank you so much for watching us live, and thank you for your question. So Meryl's asking, is there any way to add contacts to my email broadcast list manually without using a CSV file?
Yeah, I think currently, Meryl, the only way to add contacts onto the email list is only via importing CSV. There's no way to directly add contacts onto this. But I think there is, I think, let me just check. There is a way, I think, there is one way, I think, from people, when you search, I think there is a way where you can click on the contacts and you can add to the list. I think that is one way you can do it. So from people, when you do a search, when the search results come up, you should be able to select the contacts and add to list, I think.
Yeah, I've done it that way before. So if you're adding just one or two, you can do it that way. But if you're going to be adding a few, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, I think so.
So yes, there is a way to do it, exactly as Rakesh said, and I'm pretty sure David covered that in an Ask Zenler as well at some point. Right, Rob says, keep up the good work. Thank you, Rob. Glad that you're finding what we're doing useful for you. Jane Dutton has a question. So Jane, thank you so much for joining us live and asking your question. Remember, if anybody is watching live and they have a question, we're here for about half an hour or so. So type your questions in. I'm going through the feed on my phone, so we don't miss anyone, hopefully. And we'll try our very best to answer right now for you. So Jane, your question. Are there Zenler PDF files we can download and learn from, as well as tutorials?
Yeah, I think this is something we are working on right now. So David is coming up with a proper roadmap. So we're calling it roadmap to launch. So yeah, you will be able to download that PDF, and then it will act like a checklist as a guide to take you from course creation to launch to engagement and so on. So entire journey is going to help you. Yeah, so we're working on it. PDF as a checklist for roadmap to site launch on New Zenler.
And Jane, just to add to that, the Ask Zenlers are generally quite short videos, and they're very specific. So if you have something that you really want to nail, like a specific ask, and you can find it in them, some of them are only a couple of minutes long because that's all they need to be. So they're really quick. Okay, so Meryl says, thank you, you're very welcome. Link. Talal, hi Talal, good to see you again, back for another week, so brilliant that you're here. Talal, your question is, can we enroll all the contacts in a certain course at once?
Not directly, but what you could do is from people, you can export all the contacts, and then you can re-import all the contacts back in. And then while re-importing, you can select the course to enroll to. So yeah, it is possible, but there is an extra step you need to do. You need to export it and re-import it back. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, brilliant. Right, quick break from the questions as they're coming in. So remember, if you're watching this on the replay, #replay, let us know where you're watching from. Also, go over to tutorials.newzenler.com and go and join up there. It's a free resource, the same as the YouTube channel is a free resource for you. And its only goal over there in both places is to help you use Zenler more effectively, which is why we're going to a huge amount of effort into putting these together so you can work it out without floundering and make it the best experience possible for you. Also, within the Facebook group, remember the Facebook group is there as questions. If you've got, if you want a bit of feedback, you want a bit of interaction with the rest of the members, use the Facebook group as much and as widely as you wish. If you have a technical question, if there's something not working in your account correctly, it's really, really important that you contact support directly via email. And the email is support@zenler.com. And when you do that, what it does is it triggers a process for us here at Zenler. So firstly, it means that we can log the fault. So that's the very first thing. And if we constantly get the same fault coming up, we can investigate it at a deeper level. Secondly, it means that the tech team can often resolve it really rather quickly. It may just be a glitch in your account. It might not be Zenler wide. It may just be within your account. And thirdly, if they need to, they can go into your account and actually sort out what the problem is. So it's really important that if it's a technical issue, something's not working, you've loaded a video and it's just not happening or anything like that, first port of call is support@zenler.com and email in the request so we can track it and make sure that we're on top of that issue if it's a wider issue. Okay. But of course, for everything else, if you just want feedback on what you're doing and all of those wonderful things that we see in the group every day, by all means, use the Facebook group for that type of thing. Okay, let's get back on to the questions then, as we've got a couple more come in. Meryl says, thanks, she's going to look into that. Rory, good to see you here, Rory. Thank you so much for your question and for watching us live. Rory's question is, does the video from a live session go somewhere? This one wasn't amazing, but worth knowing.
Yeah, so I think there are tutorials around it again on tutorials.newzenler.com. Yeah, so there is a a local recording option you can select. So it will record locally onto your computer, and then you can upload onto your course or media library or whatever. But we are also going to add cloud recording as well. So even if you forget, we'll automatically record on the cloud. But currently there is no cloud recording. You need on your Zenler live session, there's a button on the Zoom session which says local recording, and that should record locally onto your machine.
Yeah, I mean it will do it, providing you've hit record is the first thing. So you have to hit record. It won't do it automatically. The second thing is that, as Rakesh says, there's an option where you can choose to it will save to on your PC. Now, if you haven't done that, what it will do is it will save it in a Zoom file on your computer. So go into your PC and just do a search for Zoom. It will show up as a folder, and it will probably be in there as some gobbledygook reference that means absolutely nothing, and that will be the one. Yeah. And then you have to click it, and then it will convert it into an MP4 for you, because it will download it as a Zoom file, which I have no idea what that is, and then it will convert it for you. But that's how you find it, providing you've hit record, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, it should work seamlessly, just that some cases it doesn't. So it lives in a .zoom state, which again, you can convert it as well. So.
Yeah, cool. So I hope that helps, Rory. And I'll be honest, I've done it when I first started using it. I lost a load of videos, and then suddenly I found a load of videos. So it's really easy to do. Okay, yep. Jane. So Jane says, great, thanks. It's a way I like to learn. Okay, brilliant. So that was the PDF question. Rob Montgomery, good to see you here, Rob. The most important things I see at this time are the load times for new Zenler site, as well as making the mobile device user seamless. Always have some issues when onboarding a class. Hang on. I'm starting a new 6-week masterclass group this week for journalism, and I'm so happy with registering a cohort on maths and programming all of my instructions via automations. Just want to encourage the development team and let them know these tools are powerful and used by teachers like me. So that's really awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
I think the site speed comes up every week. You know, Zenler slow, it's not uploading my videos quickly and all of that. And every single week, the same things do come up. And the first thing that we always say to you is, firstly, check your own speed. So check the speed on your on the PC that you're using. If you're using Wi-Fi, that may have an effect on it. And sometimes it's not the speed at source, but the speed of where you actually are can make a difference. So that's the first thing to always look at. Now, that's not to say there aren't times when it's a little bit slower. Sometimes there are. You know, Zenler is growing at a rate of knots, and as it grows, resources have to be grown as well. So sometimes that can happen. And I think the most common one is probably the uploading of the videos, as to how long it takes. It seems to take forever. I've uploaded a load this week into a course that I did. Mine went in really quick. They were live within about 3 minutes. Other times I've done it and it's taken 24 hours. I think the key is, providing it's gone in okay, then you'll see that it's not quite ready yet. Just check back. If it's longer than 24 hours, maybe then that's the point where you can say to support, is something going on here? But you've got to give it a chance, because it's just the process that it sometimes works through. Is there anything to add to that, Rakesh? Or
I think that's pretty much it. I think we're constantly refining the platform, We are constantly monitoring, our DevOps team is constantly monitoring the platform, and whenever we see issues, we quickly act on that. There's still some issues here and there, but by and large, it should be pretty seamless for you guys.
Okay. Right, so that was Rob. So mobile device, yeah, we covered most of that. Okay, Joanne. So Joanne, thank you so much for coming along and asking your question. So this is an interesting one. So Joanne's saying, how can I claim my new Zenler site on Pinterest? Choices are add HTML tag to the head section of your website or upload a HTML tag to your website's root directory. Thanks for the help.
I'm not entirely sure about the action that needs to be done here, but I think what Zenler provides is a way where you can add the header and the header tags into each of the pages. So I think you should be able to add whatever code that Pinterest provides, and you should be able to add that onto the header section.
Yeah, the header tag is absolutely fine for Pinterest, and in actual fact, I set an account up last week doing exactly that, and it worked seamlessly. I had no issues with it.
Is that similar to Google Analytics?
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. You just look for they give you two options in Pinterest to be able to claim your site. The header tag one is always the better and the more simpler one. And it works quite well. Just remember that once you've submitted that with Pinterest, you then have to wait for them to authorize it. That can take up to 2 days, and then they'll notify you by email. So just be aware it's not an instant claim. It takes a little bit of time on that one. So if there's a delay on that, that won't necessarily be a Zenler issue. That may be a Pinterest claiming issue. And that's just a time thing yet again. So what does it all have to run there? Okay, right. So Rory, local recording, thanks. Sharon, thanks from Oz. So brilliant, good to see you here. Anna Finnborg. So hi there, watching live from Sweden. Right about to go to bed. I want to run the same course over and over again during the year, but with different groups of people. Like, hang on. One in October and the next one in January. I want to communicate with them right now. I'm using the community function, but I don't want the new group in January to be able to read what the old group wrote. Is there any solution for that, or do I have to use another platform for the communication?
Yeah, I think when you create a community, you can assign it to a particular plan on a particular course. So that means only that particular plan members can see that. So I think you can try it out. I think that should work.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the way forward, and that's what we're doing with the Launch Your First Course Challenge. We're doing exactly that. The next version of that comes out, they're going to go into a different community. So yeah, that's a short answer to a longer question, but I think that answers that. So Tracy, hi Tracy, had a really successful live meeting yesterday. Can you explain the difference between a meeting and a webinar?
Yeah, I think what we have on Zenler is live class, a live webinar, and live stream. The difference between live class and a live webinar is that for live class, your students need to log in, and then only they can book the spot on your live class. But for live webinar, just about anyone can just opt in and access the session. So yeah, so mainly live class is for your students, and live webinar is for generating leads and prospect who does not want to go through the pain of registering, logging in, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Tracy, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please add a bit more into that.
I think there is a question from Dejane Dutton, I think.
Hang on, I've not got down that far yet.
It's about that. It's
okay.
About, yeah. I think her question is, I've seen how to build the homepage. Can you add another page to your site, such as an about page? So she wants to add she wants to find out how do you add a page to your site. So I can share the screen once again. Let me see. Do you see my screen at all?
Yep, I can see your screen.
Cool. Yeah, cool. So if you want to add any page on your site, you can just go to pages and you can just add the page here. So quite simply, you add the page and then you can make the page visible to all users, or you can make the page visible only for your logged in users. And again, at any point of time, you can make your page as your home page as well. You can push one of your pages as your home page. So you can create one page and then you can push that page as your home page.
Okay, brilliant. Rakesh has put the link in there for speedtest.net. So if you're looking at slow speeds, go off and use that. It's a free service that will tell you your own internet speed. So Laura says, can we have a co-host on a Zoom Facebook Live? If so, how do we add them?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, so let me just take a look at that so I can share the screen. Let me share the screen again. Okay, so yeah, so in here, so on the live stream, I think you should be able to do that. So in live, when you create a new live stream, my live, going to do that, and then yeah, I think currently we don't have a functionality in live stream, but once you start your live session, you should be able to add co-hosts on your new Zenler Zoom session. Or what you can do is, instead of creating a live stream, you can go in here, webinar, and then create the live session here. So you're essentially creating a webinar, but there's nothing stopping you from going live to Facebook from here as well. So here you can actually add a co-host. So you and your co-host can join the session 15 minutes before in the backstage, to set up and stuff like that.
Yeah, on the Facebook Live one, just like we are doing right now, this is using the Zenler platform, the Zenler Zoom, into the Facebook Live, into the group. And as you can see, we're both here. So you need to go to the next step of actually starting the meeting. So once you've created it, you would then start it, which you can only do 15 minutes before you go live. And then you send an invite to the person that you want on. And the timing is a little bit tight, but if they're ready and they're prepared, it's more than achievable. We get on with 10 minutes to spare each week. So you can do it. And when there's three of us on here, you can have three if you wish. So it does work on the Facebook Live as well. You just have to go that next step to actually go live, start the live. That doesn't mean you are live. It just means start the live. And then you add people in via Zoom, and then it will take you onto Facebook and connect the Zoom into Facebook.
But I think that's a very good point. We should be adding add co-host inside the live stream area as well.
Yeah. So
that you don't have to do that extra step.
Okie doke. Okay, so you guys are so chatty today. It's brilliant with all these questions. So Anne, thank you so much for your question. So hi both. Is it possible to create gradient colors in branding header and footer, i.e. from blue through green to yellow?
Hey Anne, currently it's not possible to add gradients, but you should be able to load a gradient image as a background. That should be possible.
Yeah.
But all of these things are on the plan to add gradients and then different styles of drop shadow and so on. We just want to focus on what we have right now, fine tune what we have before we go on to do all these fancy features, I guess.
Perfect. Rory says, how big is a big course? Mine is up to 220 lessons and will probably finish at about 240. I'll let David answer that one in the comments, but he's used to running very big courses. I know for what he's done before, he's have gone into the hundreds. I don't know if this will reach that or not, but what I do know is as Zenler grows and functions grow, that course will grow. So it will be forever added to, as new features come out and things are tweaked, and we'll go back, we'll take some out, put the new ones in when functions like the invite a co-host button in would need to go back and redo that one and keep it up to date. Chris, good to see you here. Really good to see you. So thanks so much for coming along live. Does a recorded live webinar look as if it were live? Does a recorded live webinar, can it look as if it were live with comments and so on?
Yeah, I think what Chris wants to do is like a simulated live kind of webinar. So she wants to do a successful live webinar and then convert that into like a evergreen with chat running in the background and so on. So currently you cannot do that, but you should be able to add the recording onto a marketing funnel and run it. But currently we don't have the chat functionality. So once we have the chat functionality later on, we should be able to do that playback kind of functionality later on.
Okay. So Tracy says, thanks, need to test the live into Facebook, which I'm assuming this is now. Absolutely right, Tracy. This is what we are doing here right now live is using the Zenler platform. It's using the Facebook Live and it's using the Zoom aspect going directly into the group, as you can see. So it's absolutely possible. Jane says, thanks. Laura says, thanks. Meryl says, just confirming with beta, there is no way to have an ongoing community chat or go live. Both require pro, correct?
I think so. I think community functionality needs an upgrade. So it's not available on the free beta, I think currently, no.
Okay.
That's
and
right.
The live features certainly are not available on the free version.
Definitely not, yeah. So basically whatever new features are coming in are coming onto the paid plan. So that is what we're doing. So all the new features, the latest and the greatest features come onto the paid plan first.
Okay. Chris says, can we use the new subscribe link in an opt-in page? I don't know what the new subscribe link is.
Don't understand the question.
Okay. Chris, if you could rephrase that, we'll come back to it. Rory, not trying to break any records. Okay. Yeah. Joanne, thanks for answering my question on Pinterest. I had a little play around, found how to open up the heading info. Is there a best place to put the Pinterest tag right at the end? I don't want to muck it up. You won't muck it up as long as it's just, if you've got a code in there already, just go to the end of it, hit return, make a space, new line, copy paste your other tag in there, it'll be fine. You won't muck it up. So Anne says, thanks, didn't think it was possible to add an image to a dynamic header. Chris says, right. Rory, one issue I found was with 220 lessons across 20 or so modules, I also needed to chunk the course into parts. Although this isn't currently possible, I wouldn't necessarily build it around this functionality as most courses won't run to this level. What's going to happen, Rory, with the big course that we're doing, although it's going to be a linear course, there's going to be jump links in there. So it's all going to be very dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. I think another way to do it, Rory, is to do bundles. So you could add these parts and into small courses and then add them into a big bundle. So this way you can manage it.
Yeah, so have a look when David puts this out. I've heard rumours, and they're unconfirmed rumours, but you're the first to hear it, that he may be pre-launching some of it a bit early.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Yeah.
Watch this space. I'll probably get into trouble for this now. Right, Tracy, love this time slot, guys. Thanks very much. 7:30 a.m. works for her, so brilliant. Really pleased that we've managed to fit that in, and that's the whole purpose of what we're doing with the office hours live, and we're actually adding another time slot in for next week. So we're gonna try 10 a.m. GMT next week, because we've had requests of people saying they really want to come and join us live, but it's not fitting in for them. It's in the middle of the night, or it's too early in the morning, or too late at night. So we're going to add that one in and see how we go. So that gives us 4 time slots that we do and rotate over the course. So every 4 weeks, it's a different one. So look out for those. Chris says there are 2 fairly new pages for unsubscribe and then subscribe back. Can I use the subscribe link anywhere else?
I think so. I think on the platform you should be able to use that, but of course test it out and make sure that works. I think that should work. Yeah. So that is what. So we have made the subscribe and unsubscribe pages customizable. So the pages that you see are exactly for that.
Perfect. Liz says these office hours the same time every week. They're every Monday. UK.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're based in the UK. So this is all based on UK time. So we are here every Monday, UK time. We have today's 9 p.m. UK. Next week will be 10 a.m. Then we will have 1 p.m. and then we have 5 p.m. Perhaps I need to put up a schedule of when these are. We do have an event that goes into the group. So if you're unsure when the next one is, every week I put in on a Tuesday or a Wednesday the date and the time for the next one. So you can just go and add yourself into that event, just say you're going and it will remind you. That's in the Facebook group that you're in right now. So have a look out for those. Okay, what else have we got? Georgia says she loves this time as well, so that's really good. Chris's last question: the new payment method, can't remember the name you announced, will it cover all countries?
Yeah, the new payment method is Razorpay, and it's mainly intended for our instructors from India. There's quite a lot of instructors have been asking for it since ages. So we finally got around to working on that right now. So we are quite close to getting it out. But yeah, I don't have a date yet, but hopefully soon. I know your question is regarding Mexico. We have been talking to Stripe in Mexico. They are working on it, but we don't have a date for them where we can, where Mexico can connect to New Zenler. So the ball is in Stripe Mexico's court right now.
Okay, and the last question comes from Rory. Rory says, this is a stupid question. I beg to differ. No question's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Reference Stripe payments. Do they pay monthly as if you have subscriptions? It could be costly if you receive the payment every time the student pays.
So what exactly is the question?
Yeah, so if you're talking about when Stripe pays you out as the account holder, then you can set that up in your own settings, and you can have it to set pay as soon as it's available, which means if someone pays you every day of the week, then you'll get, after a certain period of time, dependent on your account, 5 to 7 working days, it will start coming in every other day. If you set it to only pay out once a month, it will only pay out once a month, those that have cleared.
I think Rory's question is regarding exchange rates. I think he wants to control the exchange rates. I think you can only set certain dates and it automatically pays out on those days. So whatever exchange rate is on that day gets converted based on that.
Okay. Right. Oh gosh, we've still got more questions coming in. Do you think a Zenler site can be used as your only website when you don't yet have courses built and may not want to build courses for another 6 months? I like how it is an all-in-one in all ways.
Yeah, I think there's no reason why you cannot create an entire site using Zenler. The page editor is quite powerful. I think it's very powerful. You can create entire sites. You can create a sequence of pages and link them to each other, add menus and footer menus and so on. Yeah, so why not? You should be able to do that. I think it's powerful enough to do that, handle that. But the only thing is we don't have functionality like blogs and stuff like that. But for that, you probably need to use some external tools right now.
Yeah, and I think the differential here is what's a website and what's a marketing site, and they're sometimes quite different. So if you're looking to create static pages, as in, about pages, services pages, home page, all of that, yes, absolutely, Zenler will do it for you. You can optimize those pages. They will be found in the search engines, and that will work for you. If you're looking for movement on your site, that's not going to be tricky. Like Rakesh says, like a blog which you want to update every week or maybe a couple of times a week, that's going to be a bit tough right now. Maybe think about what other sources you could use to do that. So, for example, LinkedIn has LinkedIn Pulse. You could write your blog posts on there and then direct them back to your Zenler site. The same with Facebook, it's got an area there where you can write articles, link them back to your Zenler site. Now, you won't get the SEO directly in those platforms because they're those platforms. But what you can do is generate interest to get them over to your Zenler site. So it's not the best way to do it, but it is a way to do it. So if you're sitting there thinking, I've got to have a Zenler and a WordPress site for blogging, you don't necessarily have to do that. You just have to think a little bit creatively as to how you can work the resources that you do have access to work together. And that's some of the ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris says, thanks. Martina says, what payment method for the US?
For the US, you have Stripe and PayPal. With Stripe, you get instant payouts. So we do recommend Stripe. With PayPal, there's a lot of issues with several issues with PayPal, but it does work. And some students insist on PayPal, so you do have the option for PayPal. But Stripe is a preferred payment gateway for New Zealand.
Okay. Rory's just clarifying. He was asking regarding Stripe about the commission. The commissions add up quite a bit. Okay.
It's no getting away from commissions. So
it's the price of business, as I say, and the more things that you pay, the better that you're doing. Is the way that I see it. So look forward to paying those commissions. It means you're making sales.
Exactly. So, but the frequency is not going to change any of that. You still have to pay the commission.
Yeah, and I think with Stripe, and I use Stripe a lot, I believe it just works out on a percentage of whatever the sale is. I don't think it matters whether you've got 5 sales through or 50 sales through coming through. The percentage that you pay will be the same.
I think it does go. It does. There's a small scale that it probably goes down to 2.4 or 1.4 as the volumes increase, I think.
Georgia says, thank you guys for office hours. She really is enjoying them. Chris says, PayPal, Stripe. Where are we? When are we getting blogs? Yeah, we had to mention blogs, didn't we?
I shouldn't have mentioned that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's safe to say probably not 2020.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
you got plenty on our plate already. So let's just focus on what we have right now.
Liz, I'm with you. We all want blogs. We know it. It's going to happen, and I want them as well. But for now, we're going to have to hold fire and get what we've got working seamlessly and really, really solidly. And as Rakesh said, there's a couple of things coming out before the end of the year. Some stuff that we've tointed around the edge of, and some other nice things. So, look out for it. I think it's been noted, I think, is what we can say. You've got the man here. He knows we want blogs. So it will most certainly be on the list. And I will remind him every other week that we all want blogs. Right, Martina, thank you so much. Okay, brilliant. I think we're heading to wrap up office hours for this week. As a reminder, if you are watching us on the replay or indeed live, thank you so much for coming along and watching and asking all of your amazing questions. It's been really, really active to date, so that's been fantastic. We are here to help and guide you and answer what we can. So use the office hours as well. If you're on the replay, #replay, let us know where you're watching for. We have a global audience, so we love to know where people are tuning in from. That's really exciting for us to know, and it means that we can keep in touch as we do each week by changing the time that we do these, so we can hopefully catch most people when they're semi-awake. Would be really, really good. Tutorials.newzenler.com. Go and sign up over there. That's our training area. We've got the new Launch Your First Course Challenge. There's a wait list over there right now that you can get onto. We've got 130 people on there. I'm going to be announcing later this week what the new start date is for that, because we want to get another challenge run before Christmas. So that means it's going to be starting in the next few weeks. So if you've not yet done so, go and sign up for that. It's free. The last group of people that went through it had an amazing time. They got their courses out. That some of them had never launched a course before, and they felt empowered enough, knowledgeable enough, and comfortable enough to get that course out and to start making some sales and getting some clients in through their Zenler platform that they'd not used properly before. So it's a really nice challenge that's going to help you, handhold you, and guide you through to getting your first course out there. So if that's you and you're here and you're going, I've got the knowledge, I know what I want to do, but I'm not quite there yet, that's for you. So come along, it's free. I run that challenge, so you'll be with me for quite a few days live, and it will be the last version this year that we do live. So come along, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of support in there as well, and you will get your course out if you want to. So it's really worth signing up over there. The YouTube channel link is in the chat, so go and subscribe over there and hit the bell for notifications. Check out the announcements and the event tab in the Facebook group. That will guide you around the resources we have for you. So the events tab will tell you every week when the office hours is, so you don't miss the time slot. And the announcement tab will give you the list for the things like the changelog, the start here document, and all of those wonderful things. So thank you all for coming along. Thank you for your questions. The interaction today has been phenomenal, so I really appreciate that. Rakesh, if you've got nothing else?
No, that's it. That's it. I think thanks everyone for all the questions, and looking forward to the next session next week.
Brilliant. So next week it will be 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Look out for the event. We'll see you then. In the meantime, have a really fantastic week, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.